You're listening to the Pixie Dust Fan Podcast. Hi, I'm Francine.
And I'm Carrie.
We're two best friends who can't stop talking, usually about Disney stuff.
Sometimes we have fascinating guests, and sometimes it's just us. But it's always positive and fun.
We're happy to have you join our chat. Thanks for listening, and let's get started. Howdy, Pie. I was going to say howdy, partner. And then I tried to say pal, and then it just sort of, hi, Carrie.
Oh, I'm not going to try to do anything else.
No, that was, I don't know. Sometimes I just don't even know how to speak, which is, usually a pretty good thing for someone that, is on a podcast that they could actually communicate. But, yeah. So what's going on? How are you?
Happens. I'm great. We had an exciting week this week.
We did. It was very exciting.
Mm-hmm. It's probably the only exciting thing this week, but we had but we had a moment of excitement this week.
We did.
It actually carried on. We had excitement before and then during, and then it's kind of the excitement that keeps on giving.
It does.
Until August 29th.
It does.
September 1st-ish.
Yes. Yes. This was our D23 Destination D23 week to buy tickets. And we've talked about this before with these events. It stresses me out, Carrie. Like, I don't like it. I don't like that I have to be so nervous that I'm going to spend money to do, like, it just doesn't. So for people listening, first, Destination D23, they have it every year.
Every second year.
Well, because they call it D23. Expo. Yeah, they call it Expo in the alternate years in Disneyland. So Destination D23 is at Walt Disney World every other year. And then the alternate years, they have the Expo at Disneyland.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of it's like a big fan club event, really. It's like Comic-Con for Disney. No, because they have panels, they have like events, it's not really Comic-Con for Disney. No,
I think Expo is more like that. Whereas Destination D, I think, is more right. Like it's a fan club day or a fan club weekend.
Yes.
Where not so crazy, but just kind of built for the fans. Like 2 days of sessions. You don't got to run around like crazy. You don't got to sign up for a session. You don't got to line up for a session. Yep. You don't got to stay up all night to be ready for the session. You just wake up, you arrive to the convention center, you spend the day there, and you're done. You follow along on the agenda.
Exactly.
So I see. But it is definitely like a fan club event, for sure.
But the pressure is off about, like, once you're there, because you're basically invited to everything. So you don't have to pick and choose like you do at the Expo of, I want to go to this one or this one. You just, everybody goes to everything.
But much smaller, like much smaller than the Expo. The Expo is ginormous, like a Comic-Con or a big convention.
Right. So. But this year, the Destination D23, it's a bit bigger than in previous years, because in previous years it was held in the Contemporary Resort ball, like the Grand Ballroom or whatever they call it. This year it's in Coronado Springs.
You guys keep saying that it's in a bigger venue, and I guess it is a little bit bigger venue, but like I've been in both, and it's not like it's double, like that big. Well, I can't remember what the name of the convention center is at Coronado. Like it's big, the biggest room, but it's not like that convention room at
Contemporary.
Contemporary is still very, very big.
Right.
So
I think the one at Coronado is wider though. Like it feels a bit, maybe like honestly, even if it's just like 2 chair lengths wider,
like depth, and it's wider, a lot wider,
right? So maybe if it's a bit wider and they can get 2 more seats per row, like that's still a lot more,
right?
And
so
it should be better for food and stuff like that too, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So we had the expectation that it was going to be a little bit easier this year because the venue is larger, slightly larger, a lot larger.
I don't know. I don't know that I expected it to be easier. I had the same palpitations that I have every year because my biggest fear is I don't get a ticket and all my friends are going and I got to sit and watch them online posting from there and I'm not there. And like that would be a level of FOMO that I couldn't deal with.
So this year, as they usually do, they tell us about a week before the tickets open. So usually with all of these Disney events, like we're so excited to go, we want to go, take our money, whatever, but they don't give us any details about anything, what it's going to be, how much it's going to cost until like a week before it open, before the tickets go on sale, which is pretty much this year. We knew the dates that the event was. We knew when the tickets were coming in. We were digging and finding out how much they cost and all of that stuff. But we really didn't know too much about the event. Like they gave us a little bit. Like we know that it's called a journey around the worlds of Disney.
Yeah, that's very descriptive.
And what else? Let's scroll here. Let's see the event info. Journey around the world of Disney. What else did they say? Like, did they tell us? We know the shopping, we know the regular stuff, but what did they tell us about meat and potatoes of the event?
Just that it was at Coronado Springs instead of the Contemporary. Like, I don't think they really gave us anything more than that. We just knew the tickets were going on sale and that was it. Like, we found out much more information now, but before.
Oh, yeah, I guess. Before they're really, but they told us there's like Typhoon Lagoon event, Cuscotopia night. They told us that they're going to do something around the Goofy movie or something.
Yes.
And then they said the archives is called Charting the Course, Disney's Global Stories and Inspiration. That's it.
That's all we knew.
So there's 2 days of sitting in a room and all we know is Walt Disney Archive presents Charting the Course, Disney's Global Stories and Inspiration. That's like, because that's the part that's going to be, the other two things are outside of the daily schedule. Yeah.
Right. And we did know that it was going to be hosted again by Lug.
Oh, yeah.
We knew that. So we were pretty excited about that. So if you don't know, Lug is a name of a brand bag. So they make bags. And let's just say they have been like my saving grace. And I had never heard of them before until the last D23 event that was hosted by Lug, and they were there with their bags, and we got a bag as one of our gifts. And like, since then, I'm in love with them. They are so much better for me than and so much more economical than a Dooney, and much better sizing and material and pockets than a Loungefly. Like, Lug is it, man. They're the bag.
So when you saw the Destination D presented by Lug, you were like, and say no more.
Say no more, man. I'm in.
Take my money.
Take my money. Take my money. So that we didn't really know much else. That was it. And then, but this is the kind of level of Disney fandom. We knew nothing, but we had a group chat of 15 people who had, most of which had already booked hotels for these nights months ago on the off chance that we got tickets. We had a group chat the day before that was strategizing about how to set up the devices.
Yeah. Well, because the one thing that we're unsure of, because it changes every year or gets tweaked every year, is we don't know exactly how the registration process is going to work. Like, we know now after years and years of us that they're putting us in a random queue. Right? We know as soon as the clock ticks 1, we're in the queue.
Right.
But we don't know, like, are they going to make us log into our D23 account before? Are we going to log in when we buy it? Are we going to be able to see the number? Like, for instance, like this year when the queue opened, we couldn't see where we were in the queue. So before, we would see the little dude walking across the screen
little man,
and showing where we are in the queue. And then underneath it would be like, you are number 17,653 in the queue. spoiler alert, there's only 2,000 seats in the venue, but you're in the queue 17,125.
Yes.
So like they showed that little number. And like this year when we got into the queue, we were like, where's the number? We don't know where we are. Like,
yes. Like there was nothing. Yeah.
So
until it gave us the how long you were going to be in queue. So that was the indicator was the wait is more than an hour, 15 minutes, 7 minutes. Like there was a bit of a countdown in terms of time until you were going to get in the queue. And then you had 10 minutes to complete your transaction. Like that was, so how many windows did you have? Let me just say, I had
2. I only had 2.
You had 2. I had 1, 2, 3, 4. I had 4. I had 4
devices going.
4 devices going. 2 of them I signed, and no, sorry, I had 4 devices, but 5 browsers. Because on one computer I had 2 browsers going. And some of them I signed in as me originally and clicked the buy tickets or whatever. And then some I did not. So I figured I'd mix it up. And I had 5 things going. And I was just Carrie, it was have you seen The Big Bang Theory where they're trying to get tickets to Comic-Con and they're all sitting around the living room and they've all got their laptops and they're like, refresh, refresh, refresh. And they're screaming at each other. That's kind of like the anxiety that was going on. That was pretty much it. And our group chat was exploding with, mine says an hour. I've got one at 8 minutes. I've got one at 27 minutes. And I've got, yeah. And you can only buy 2. You
can only buy 2. And in the past, they used to have different memberships. And if you had a family membership, you could buy 4. But also, when this event, I'm pretty sure when this event came out in the early years, it wasn't a gold member event. It's so popular that it's a gold member event. So if you are not a paying gold member of D23, they've got 3 levels of it now, but you have to be a paying member to be able to buy a ticket. So if you don't have a gold membership, you need to buy one.
Yeah.
And then
you need to buy
take
one
your chance
for the privilege
of trying to get a ticket to this event.
Yeah. Yeah, because I bought my membership just because my sister's membership had lapsed, and you can only buy 2 tickets per gold membership. So I had to buy a membership so that we could take the chance at buying tickets.
Yeah. And our predicament was not everybody had if most of us had gold memberships, but the situation is that if you are in the queue and you were in the queue and you got the tickets for you and your sister, and then your other device was ready to go, you can't log in to buy. You've already bought your 2.
Yes.
And say if Becky had a gold membership, you can't log in as her because you've already bought her ticket.
Yes.
And she right. So we were in a bit of a pickle with people we were very, very lucky so maybe the countdown and the numbers and being 17,000 was a little different this year, because with most of us in the group, I think that we had almost all the tickets bought in less than 5 minutes. Would you not agree? Because I was keeping track of who had tickets, right? Like you and Becky got yours, Curtis got his, we all were getting into the queue very, very quickly and buying the tickets. But then we got into a predicament where okay, well, whose phones are at the point where they're in the queue and whose login are we using and who still needs tickets? Because the person who owns the membership of the gold membership has to be one of the ticket holders.
Yes.
So that example with you and Becky, we can't use Becky's because she doesn't need to buy a ticket for herself anymore. So that was our problem on that day.
Yeah.
Is that we were trying to cover our bases, but we were kind of running out of logins.
Yes.
To get it done.
Because when you bought the second ticket, like you had to buy it under your login, but the second ticket you had to give the email address of the person, their Disney login of the second ticket. So that meant you couldn't buy any more tickets under them. So we did get into that predicament where we had to make use of the logins. So with all the people that we had to get tickets for, if we had someone who had a gold membership and they only needed their own ticket, we had to get them to buy two. They had to buy for somebody else. Like,
yeah,
that's
now,
and they were not necessarily in the queue, like, right? So we had to swap logins based on who had the shortest wait.
Right. Yeah. So exactly. So if you had it on your device, you needed that login. And so everybody was switching stuff. Like now, because we never know what's going to happen, and because usually most of us are number 17,652, like if we would have known that we were all going to easily buy tickets that easily at the get-go, we probably could have organized it a little better too, right? Like
probably.
It's more the pressure, like you're worried you're not going to get something, but like time is, we know it's going to sell out quick. Like after it's all done, if we would have known that we were all going to get in the queue and be buying tickets, being in, like clicking to buy a ticket within 2 or 3 minutes, we could have just said, okay, these are all the logins, these are who's doing them and whatever. Right? One gets in, oh my goodness, buying the tickets. The next one gets in, oh my goodness, I'm buying these tickets. Like it's so frantic that it's Survivor and you're the last one standing type of thing. Like you've just got to get those tickets. You've got to get those tickets, and if you've got a space, who needs one? But seeing how it ended, like we probably could have had it a little bit organized. We would have never done it because we always assume it's going to be absolute crazy, which it was absolute crazy. But looking back on it, it was like, it actually was very swift. Like I think we had all but 3 tickets purchased within the first 4 minutes.
I didn't breathe. Like seriously, like when my thing came up and said, you have 10 minutes to complete this transaction, it was like I froze. Like I couldn't type. I was like, oh my God. Like, don't close. Like, don't close the browser. Oh my gosh. And I was trying to go through and just get it done. And like, I did not even look at the price. I did not look. I selected 2 tickets. Go. Click. Put in my credit card. Purchase. Little thing spins. And then I get this pop-up from my bank on my phone that says you have just charged $685 to your. I was like, oh my gosh. Or whatever it was. I was like, that's when I realized I didn't even look at the price, but whatever. Then the confirmation came and I was so excited because usually I'm like number 12,000, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I usually have no luck, but this time I was like one of the second ones, I think, to get my thing come up. So then I was like, I also have another one that's like 8 minutes out. Give me your login. Who needs me to do it? And I managed to do it for somebody else. Like I know
let's just say when we're at Destination D, there's a few people in our group that owe Francine a cupcake and a glass and a bottle of and a big tall
and a beer. I was like,
well, that's wonder like what, like there must be something different in the back end though, because I really do think that it's crazy. Like, because I got in really, really quick. I think I was one of the first ones. I got in, like you guys were all getting in like right away. That's why it was so frantic, because we didn't know who, like we didn't expect this. Like I expected like, Carol, who's got the lucky charm, would be like, and she would be the first one. And then I thought, oh, there's going to be, like in my mind, like with figuring how we're going to strategize this in the chat, I was like, well, we know Carol's going to get in first and she's going to get her 2 tickets.
Right.
And then I thought, then there'll be like 4 more minutes. And then someone's going to be like, I'm going to be like, okay, you buy your 2 tickets. And then, I thought there would be like some minutes in between where we'd be like keeping track and making sure everybody was covered. But like, so they must have optimized or did something different in the back end.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
There's no way that all of us got through. They must have, like maybe that number thing was messing up, was slowing things.
Maybe
when the process down or something.
It was insanity. But I mean, I think the worst part is we did for our big group chat, there was one person that didn't get a ticket, which is sad. And that's the part that bugs me, right? Like, this is the full Disney fandom where you have all of these people who are taking their lunch, who are signing out of meetings, who are, making sure they're in front of their computer in order to purchase tickets to an event that they know nothing about purely because they love Disney. And they can't get a ticket. Like, that to me, and especially if you've been before, like you've invested in it before or whatever, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like if you've been investing year after year, that should count for something in your lineup online or something. You know what I mean?
Yep, absolutely. Well, absolutely. Like, I've went in like the D23 like fan group, that like not the official one, but like the fan Facebook group, and like reading the comments of people about how disappointed they are, like people that sign up for memberships. Like, that D23 membership isn't cheap.
I know.
Like, especially if you're really only getting it with hopes to go to this event, because maybe you can't go to any of the other things that they do throughout the rest of the year. But like at the pin event, I'm sure we talked about it on the podcast when I talked about the last pin event, like, because they're so popular and they do the way that they do it with the queue and putting you in the random number, which was how the Disney pin one was last fall. Like, I had friends that have been to every single pin event and didn't get to go. And I know that's cool. Like, I know there's new fans or whatever, but like, figure out a way then to make different tiers, like to have like there's got to be a way to include maybe they can't include everybody where they get the full pin event experience, but there's got to be a way that they can do something a little bit differently to make them included somehow. Like,
I think, like, yes, it's great. They have everything in the convention center, and yes, it's a big room, but it's not huge. Well, you live stream most of the stuff anyway. So couldn't you just have another room next door and double the capacity here and live stream in one room? Like, it just, and those are discounted tickets or something, like, whatever it is, but just something that includes them. So that part really bothered me. I felt really bad. Like, I kept trying to get in to get her a ticket, and I just, like, after that last one, I just couldn't get in. And I think she was reaching out to see if she could get on a wait list or something, but that was disappointing.
There might be I'm sure she probably is putting her name on a wait list, because that's what we would do for the pin stuff too. But like, there was people in that group where they were contacting Disney to cancel because, like, they're a family. Yeah. Like, they're a family of 4 and they can only get 2 tickets.
Yep.
And maybe, because of the like the 2 ticket limit, like, husband's buying for one kid and mom's buying for the other. And so then now, like, they can't switch names. So like, they can't put who really wants to go in those 2 spots or whatever. So I saw people post that, like, they were going to contact and ask to be refunded because it didn't work out for them.
It makes sense. So, like, why would you want to if you're a family of 4 or 6 or whatever, and only 2 of you got tickets? Yeah. So maybe hopefully something will come up for her, and she'll, the wait list will come up. But we did manage to get tickets. We spent a fortune. We spent a fortune so we can go there and spend a fortune, because I got because they're shopping there. So one of the events, so now that we've covered the whole anxiety of the ticket purchases,
we
did it. Yay. So the events, so they're going to have events. So experiences are going to include D23 Cosmotopia Night at Typhoon Lagoon. I don't know what that meant. What's
from Emperor's New Groove, because this is a big Emperor's New Groove year. This is like an anniversary year. 25 years.
I don't even remember Emperor's New Groove. I don't even remember it. I got to watch it again. Jeez Louise. And my nephew was giving me grief about our last podcast. He's like, "What's wrong with you? Why don't you want to watch movies? Like, you're complaining you got to watch How to Train Your Dragon, blah, blah, blah." He's like, "Watch the movies, for God's sakes." So here's another one I'm going to have to watch. So that's okay. So how's his name? What do you say?
So Cuscotopia. is the name of the party they're having. It's just
Cusco. Cusco.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is at Typhoon Lagoon. They did have a Typhoon Lagoon party the one year, didn't they?
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
All I know
I didn't go to it.
All I know, I don't know that they have, because I know one year, the only time I've tried to go to a nighttime thing at Typhoon Lagoon is like a couple of years ago at the pin event. Carol and I were like, let's go to that
right,
like nighttime thing at Typhoon Lagoon. And we were all excited. We were really excited because we both hadn't done it. We were ready. We were there. And as soon as we stepped foot on property, there was a real Typhoon Lagoon.
Oh.
And we were like drenched. Like it was so Typhoon Lagoony. At Typhoon Lagoon, they refunded the money for the tickets.
Oh,
so
wow.
we didn't get to go to a nighttime thing. So I've never been to that one. If they had one at Destination D, I probably skipped it too.
I feel like they had one and we skipped it. But they're saying like it's a fan-inspired extravaganza as we go from zero to hero, and with musical moments from
it's gonna be a party.
Hercules, Lagoon. A Goofy movie, Toy Story, The Little Mermaid, Aladdin, Mulan, Beauty and the Beast. Oh my gosh, there's a whole bunch of them. Okay, so that's kind of cool. And then what is this? Like they have this Disney 80s and 90s celebration in concert. Is that like at Typhoon Lagoon?
No, I think it's separate.
It says, this is a separate event. So that what I just read was actually for this celebration and concert.
So I think so. So the thing at Typhoon Lagoon is the one evening. So we're at the convention center all day, and then there's a nighttime event at Typhoon Lagoon. And then the other day, by the looks of it, because the dates would make sense, is that we have the Sunday of the event, and then Sunday night is a celebration and concert.
Right. And that, you know what, Carrie, remember the pajama party and all those things? Like you and I have video of us dancing at a party. Dancing at a couple of these parties, because you and I always seems like we get to the end of the weekend and all of our friends are like, yeah, I'm kind of done. Like that last party of the night, they're like, meh. And then there's you and I, like the two boneheads we are right up there in the middle.
Exactly.
As we do.
So they always have like a party on the Sunday night. Like you said, it's been a pajama party or
So this like one's at 80s and 90s. This is 80s and 90s with Goofy. That'll be fun. Oh, I'm excited about that one. Okay, so we're doing that one for sure.
It says Broadway and Disney animation stars for a concert.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Nice. So, and then the archives do a lot of stuff over D23 weekend, which is fun. Like a lot of historical stuff. There's a lot of talks about, history, things about the Walt Disney Company, but then also they do announcements and updates on what they're building in the parks and things like that. Like they usually have some forward-looking things too.
Last one at the last Destination D23 isn't that when our buddy Joshy D was on the stage and did he tell us about villains?
Yeah
that was when they very first mentioned.
That was yep
because at the expo, if they had expo the year before, like the one expo year, like they didn't really tell us too much, and
there was no announcements.
People were like, for this expo, the last expo, they were like, if it's like the last one, we're out of here. We're gonna get the chairs and like bang each other over the head. But because it was kind of in between, and because usually they don't give us announcements like that,
right?
And we were like, what's this? So they gave us like themes. They maybe give us some. Maybe they'll give us some sneak peeks.
I hope so.
Stuff.
And they did. That's where we saw. Remember, we saw Once Upon a Toy, or what was the one? The story that they did, the animated story, the 100 years celebration, inside the animation studios. They've given us like sneak peeks of things like that, and they literally have security walking up and down the aisles to make sure your phones are away. Like the one year we actually had to put our phones in bags, like sealed bags. Well, Moana, we got to see Moana one year. Before it was released.
Mm-hmm.
We've had some pretty though. It's you know what? It's such a good event. I'm so excited. And then you know what the last thing they have on the website. So here's the things that we're going to do. Blah blah blah. And then they have a big D23 shopping spree because that's so much of it. They're like they literally have. So they have the Walt Disney Company store where it's it's you get access to things with like the Walt Disney World store on it, and their hoodies are like the best quality. I swear, like I love them. There's Mickey's of Glendale, which is the Imagineering campus store, and it's a pop-up shop they do. And then they have so they sell like a whole bunch of stuff. Like basically they call them all different stores, but it's just all good stuff.
Everything at this, like, well, the Disney Studio store is the store on Hollywood. Well, oh no, I don't know. It's like that's what they sell at the store in Hollywood but like the pins,
right?
Like the special pins they have there.
Yes.
And then I think unless it's changed, and then Mickey's at Glendale and Walt Disney Company store. Those are only things you can access as a cast member.
Yes.
So like it's very, very exclusive, and that's what makes them like amazing shopping opportunities. Like it's not like you're going there and looking and seeing everything that you see in the park. And then the ink and paint marketplace, like that might be, maybe there'll be stuff that's going to end up in the parks or whatever, but it's just different. Or it's stuff, if it's going to be in the parks and we see it when it's brand new, or maybe we have a chance to.
Well, they say it says that it's going to be an assortment of fan favorite brands and friends, including Lug. So they're going to have.
That was the ink and paint marketplace with all the vendors.
Was all the vendors, right? Yeah. And remember, they had like that huge. So we got a Lug knapsack as part of our gifts from D23. And then we all, at one point or another that weekend, went and bought like this little crossbody Lug. I think we all have the same one.
Still use it.
I use it every day. Like it's like my favorite purse now. Like I don't even swap it out when I go to Disney for my Disney one. I just like it. It's perfect. Although I'm thinking I might like a little bigger one. So yes, so I'm holding off until I can go and see them in person. But yeah, so and this is where, we go and we spend a lot more money. And I think to myself, they gave us that free bag the last time, but it wasn't free. It wasn't free. We pay over $300 US, which is like 700 in Canadian. But it's worth it for us.
Well, the one thing, so the Lug last time, like those little bags that we love so much, I'm pretty sure we spent like $17 on them, or
they
$20.
Were good price.
They were $20 or maybe a little bit less.
Mm-hmm.
And then every time we bought one, they gave us like that polka dot Lug, like grocery type bag, but it's like a tote. My mom I gave one.
I love it.
I came home with 3 of them.
Yeah.
And I gave one to my mom, my aunt, and my 2 aunts. They love that bag. It's like, because it's a Lug bag. They do all these things that make it into an awesome bag. It looks like just a bag you bring when you're going shopping, but it's like magnetic closure and it's heavy duty.
And there's a little pocket on it.
It's got a pocket. You could pretty much wear it on your shoulder as a shoulder bag if you needed to.
Yeah.
Like they gave those for free when we bought stuff, and they were letting us use like the discount coupon over and over and over again when we were only supposed to use it once. I don't know that when there's something that's new at a Disney event, or there's something just new, like usually first time, like it's always like it'll never be that way again. And that's I think the Lug stuff's going to be awesome, but I doubt that we'll be walking away with all of those Lug bags like we did last time at the price that we got them.
Yeah.
But and I understand things change, and that's the fun about being, going to these things all the time and seeing how things evolve. Like that ink and paint marketplace in Lug was so new. Like the shopping last time, because they usually only had Mickey's of Glendale there pretty much, like back in the old days. And then they brought in, I think, the Walt Disney Company store. And then last year they had this whole marketplace. Like last year, like We probably thought it was just good to go just for the fun shopping opportunities. Forget about everything else was gravy. Like we got this awesome lug knapsack. We got to shop, and then we got to spend 2 days as fans listening to stuff. So last time the bar was raised, and we were like, I think they probably charged us $100 more last time compared to the prior year because we got a $200 knapsack.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see what it's like this year, because we definitely were wowed and we're like, yeah, this was really good. They did a good job plussing this event for us. So
yeah, it was definitely we had hauls. We always joke about how our suitcase is so huge, but I had to get my sister to bring stuff home for me. And I had purposely left room in that suitcase for the haul.
I think she brought something home for me too.
Yeah. So we definitely we did well the last time. So I'm looking forward to this one. I'm very excited about it. I'm happy to report we have tickets and we'll be there so that we can report on it afterwards. And I'd love to hear. I know we actually have some podcast listeners who got tickets as well. They were reaching out to me. So we'll see them there.
Meet them
Absolutely. There. We get to meet people while we're there. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for us to go.
Me too.
Cool. Well,
a lot of sleep, so
I know. I think that's our recap of D23. We got too many adventures between now and then, but we'll keep everybody posted. One of our adventures that we have to talk about before we get to our pixie dust is everybody needs to go and listen to the Solo Show podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Because Carrie and I were invited to play, what was it called? Password?
Password, yeah. Disney Password
on the Solo Show. And we've been keeping it under wraps because we recorded it a little while ago. And the two of us are guests on that podcast where we're competing against two other Disney fans. And it's a lot of fun. We had a ball. And yeah, it's always fun going on Stan's show, but you have to go and listen. We're not going to spoil it and tell you how we did. Although I'm sure some of you can imagine. But I will put the link in the show notes to Stan's, to the episode. But it's the Solo Show podcast, and go and find it. It's everywhere you listen to audio. You'll hear it. And it was entertaining. Let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love those kind of games. We had a really good time. Yeah. All right, Carrie, we're at the part of the podcast where it's time to share what brought you some joy this week. What was your pixie dust this week?
Well, my pixie dust happened today on my lunch break. Is that I signed up for yoga because I need to get away from my desk, and I need to get some breathe. I'm not going to ever probably be able to stretch like I need to for yoga, but it's very good for breathing and relaxing and centering yourself and whatever, yada, 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 yada. So anyway, today was my second yoga class. And when I got there, no one else showed up. It was just me. So I had a private yoga class. So you got a private
lesson. That's awesome.
Which was kind of cool because then I talked to the yoga instructor and she's pretty much tailored it a little bit to me. And it was just us, so we could sit and chit chat and talk about we were focusing on our breathing and our relaxing and everything.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I got to chat with her a little bit during and after and telling her, what I was feeling about certain things or whatever, and it was good. So
that's amazing. Good for you. Yeah. I think it's amazing that you're doing this. And it's, because Carrie, it's very hard in the middle of the day to get up and force yourself to go to a class or do something when you could just work through your lunch hour or whatever. So good for you for doing that.
That's why I did it, to get away. So
good for you.
So
then you can teach me some yoga.
Okay, I will.
You'll have to. Yeah.
What's your pixie dust?
My pixie dust is my excitement for today. Mine happened on my lunch hour too today.
Well, what?
I saw I saw it on, I don't know whether it was Instagram or wherever, it's some influencer, and she showed what she ate for lunch one day, and it looked delicious. Like, do you ever get like that where you see something online and you think, and it's not necessarily what you would eat, but it looks so good. Like maybe you were just hungry at the time you saw it. Anyway, so I decided today I was going to make it. So it's a plate, obviously, with like fruits and vegetables on it and a little bit of ranch dressing. Terry.
Fruits?
So I had pineapple, I had strawberries, I had apples, I had peppers, like those pepper things, cucumber, a little bit of ranch dressing, and 2 hard-boiled eggs. And I arranged it very lovely on the plate. You should check my Instagram story. I put it on there. And I arranged it so nice. And you know what? Because what she kept saying when she showed her plate was that they're all like no calories or whatever, but there's so much volume that she really felt like it was a full meal because she had so much volume. And then I was like, well, that's kind of what I need. Like, I feel like I need to eat something, but like I need the volume, but not, So anyway, that's what I did, and it was lovely.
Nice.
It was very good. In fact, I'm thinking about having it for dinner. Yeah, check my Instagram story. Come here, more recipes.
I tell you, we're going to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I'm going to make a deconstructed grilled cheese.
I was on a meeting.
Here is the bread. Here is the cheese. Let's eat.
Oh my gosh. Today I was telling all these people at work about those chicken nuggets at Costco. I've got more people going out to buy them because they're so good. But yeah. Anyway, so that was my lunch. That was good. It was very good.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's it.
Awesome.
Awesome.
That's it. That's all, folks.
That's it. That's all we got this week. But thank you for listening. And if you'd like to leave us a rating and review, please do. And we'll be back in a couple of weeks. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Pixie Dust Fan Podcast. We hope you enjoyed the episode.
Make sure you're following us on your favorite podcast player so you'll get a new episode every week. And find us on social media too. We'd love to hear from you.
Till next time, remember, you are never too old to be young. Chase your dreams and design your own happily ever after.